Christ once said, "Woe unto you when all men speak well of you." That line, it's heavy. And yet, most people skip past it. But real ones know, when everyone likes you, it probably means you've compromised somewhere. Because the truth ain't popular. The truth divides. The truth stirs. The truth exposes. We live in a world where being liked has become a goal, where being accepted by all is confused with being right. But if you're friends with everyone, chances are you stand for nothing. The righteous man walks a narrow road, not just because it's moral, but because it's uncomfortable. It comes with resistance, isolation, slander, and often betrayal. If you live in truth long enough, controversy will follow, because truth disturbs the parts of people they've tried to bury. The minute you say, "I don't agree with that," you'll be called judgmental. The minute you draw a line and say, "I don't cross this," they'll call you self-righteous. And when you speak with conviction, when your yes is yes and your no is no, they'll say you're arrogant, aggressive, or intolerant. But here's the twist. You're not wrong. They just don't want to deal with the mirror you hold up. The world doesn't hate lies. The world hates conviction, because conviction demands change. And people love comfort more than truth. The same crowd that cheered Christ on Sunday shouted, "Crucify him" on Friday. Because truth challenged their power, their traditions, their image. He didn't play politics. He didn't stroke egos. He flipped tables and called out hypocrisy, and they hated him for it. So, what makes you think walking in truth today will be smooth? People will lie on you, call you fake, say you switched up, say you think you're better, but deep down, they're just uncomfortable with your growth. Your light disturbs their shadow. Opposition is confirmation. If you never face resistance, you might be going the same direction as the crowd, and the crowd doesn't lead to purpose. The crowd leads to applause, not alignment. To fitting in, not breaking through. When you stand for truth, expect resistance. It's part of the package. People will misquote you, twist your words, assign intentions you never had. Not because it's true, but because your presence made them feel exposed. Your integrity shines too bright in a world built on filters and facades. Righteousness will often have you walking alone. Not because you're wrong, but because you refuse to conform. You choose principle over popularity, purpose over public opinion. And yes, it can feel lonely, but peace never came from the crowd anyway. It came from alignment. It came from knowing you stood tall, even when misunderstood. Christ wasn't crucified because he was wrong. He was crucified because he was right in a world that was upside down. And anyone walking in his footsteps should expect some nails too. The louder your truth, the bolder the lies. People will fabricate, assume, and twist because lies are easier to swallow than personal accountability. They'll believe rumors over reality because gossip comforts the guilty. If they can't kill your name, they'll try to kill your credibility. If they can't destroy your image, they'll try to destroy your influence. But remember, lies don't outlive purpose. If your foundation is truth, everything built on slander will eventually collapse. Don't chase rumors. Don't fight shadows. Keep moving, keep building. Let your fruit speak. God's hand on your life might look like public rejection. His favor might look like isolation. Because some rooms ain't meant for your spirit. Some platforms aren't big enough for your calling. And some crowds can't handle your light. Don't shrink to make others comfortable. Don't silence your voice to maintain fake peace. Christ didn't die for applause. He died on assignment. And you weren't born to be liked. You were born to be light. If you're being talked about, misunderstood, lied on, know this. You're in good company. Truth has always been controversial. Purpose has always attracted pressure. And elevation has always offended comfort, so wear it with grace. Walk with boldness. Speak when it's unpopular. Stand when it's uncomfortable. And keep your eyes fixed on the path, even when the crowd tries to pull you off it. You weren't built for applause. You were built for alignment. And if God approves, who else needs to? The truth doesn't just offend, it refines. It burns away illusions and brings us back to the essence of who we are. It's the great separator. It draws a line between those who seek comfort and those who seek clarity. Because not everyone who smiles is with you, and not everyone who walks beside you wants to see you reach the destination. You see, when you begin rising, people don't just watch. They calculate. They measure your progress against their stagnation. And when your movement triggers their stillness, jealousy starts to look like concern. Fake support starts to sound like backhanded compliments. And silence starts to feel like betrayal. But let it all reveal itself. Because pressure doesn't just shape you. It exposes who was never meant to walk with you. You gotta be okay with becoming the villain in someone's story when you refuse to stay where they left you. When you evolve, you leave comfort zones behind. And that includes people. They'll say, "You changed," as if you were supposed to stay small for their convenience, as if staying stuck would have kept their loyalty intact. But growth has a cost, and most people aren't willing to pay it. So you will outgrow some rooms. You will get quiet in some crowds. You will stop explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. And in that space, you'll meet your next version. You'll realize silence is power. You'll understand that not every battle needs your hands. Some require your stillness. Let them talk, let them assume, let them build a narrative with no foundation. Because truth needs no defense. It will stand when everything else crumbles. People will project their wounds onto you. They'll call you arrogant because you set boundaries. They'll call you disloyal because you no longer sacrifice your peace to fix them. They'll call you fake because you stopped allowing dysfunction to wear the mask of love. But if you're walking in truth, keep walking. If you're anchored in purpose, stay rooted. Because the more grounded you are, the more storms you'll be able to withstand, without shifting, without snapping, without seeking validation. You see, every time you level up, you're not just gaining, you're shedding. Shedding fear, shedding ego, shedding people who were only connected to the version of you that needed their approval. And in the shedding, you'll gain vision. Not just sight, but spiritual clarity. You'll begin to discern who's with you and who's around you. There's a difference. Some people are with your growth, and others are just present in your proximity. Truth will teach you how to tell the difference. And sometimes the people who shout your name the loudest in public are the same ones who whisper your faults in private. But you won't have to chase it. God has a way of revealing what your spirit already sensed. So stop shrinking. Stop apologizing for evolving. Stop editing your truth to make insecure people feel safe. You weren't made to be liked. You were made to be light. And light doesn't ask permission to shine, it just does. You'll notice it too. When you get quiet, people get loud. When you get focused, people get uncomfortable. Because the old you required explanation. The healed you just moves. And in a world that feeds on attention, your silence will speak volumes. Your absence will echo. Because they don't miss you, they miss controlling you. Let them. You've got bigger things to build. You've got roots to deepen and mountains to climb. You've got legacy to plant and generations to free. And none of that happens when you're stuck explaining your worth to people who were never meant to carry your truth. You weren't designed to fit in. You were called to break cycles, to call things out, to carry weight others ran from. That's why the road is narrow. That's why it's lonely. That's why slander comes with the calling. But every real one knows the calling is louder than the crowd. The mission is heavier than the gossip. And peace is worth more than being understood. So if they twist your name, let them. If they lie, let them. If they walk away, let them. Because what God is building in you doesn't need their approval, just your obedience. And obedience will take you where popularity never could. So stay in. even when it's shaky. Speak, even when your voice trembles. Love, even when it's not returned. And move, even if it means walking alone, because you're not alone. You've got every righteous one who came before you walking with you. You've got the spirit of truth echoing through your bones. You've got a legacy of light that can't be dimmed by the opinions of people stuck in darkness. This path isn't easy, but it's necessary. And when it's all said and done, when the noise fades and the lies collapse, only the truth will still be standing, and it will be standing in you.